Priyanka Tiwari from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology from ICT department. I'm going to take a session from the subject Cyber Forensic Mitigation. The subject code is 316313. The topic that the module that we are going to cover in this session is module number 5, new module. The topic, the chapter name is Network Security, that is module name is Network Security. The topic that we are going to cover in this session is network attacks. So basically, what is a network attack? We'll start with the word. So a network attack, we can say it is an attempt to gain unauthorized access to an organization's network or the personal network with the objective, means the motive of stealing data or performing other malicious activities, like to destroy something or to take one identity to show its identity, to take one's advantage. So basically, malicious activity can be in any of the form with respect to the malicious content or the action which is being taken. So basically, network attack is a attack only which is done in the networks. Now there are two main types of network attacks. There is passive attacks and active attacks. So basically, what is passive attacks? So attackers gain access to a network and can monitor or steal sensitive information, but without making any change to the data. Means the data is not changing at all, leaving it intact. So basically, this type of attack is known as passive attacks. Now, what do you mean by active attacks? So active attacks are the attackers not only gain the unauthorized access, okay, but also they can modify it, okay, either deleting it, that is encrypting it, or otherwise harming it. Harming means anything, destroying it. So basically, there are two types of the network attack, that is attacks, that is passive and the active. Okay, both definitions we are already being cleared. Okay, now with respect to that, we are going to forward see how this network attack flows. So this is an example. Okay, so how it flows. A public web server is there with the attacks, the different malicious acting or the different malicious content which is having it. How the attacker is being taken? We are having an attacker. Okay, with respect to that, we are having the IPC use servers, which the different users using it. So basically, these are the different types of attacks the attacker can get into it in order to hack it, in order to get the access to it, in order to get the data. So basically, these are the different attacks which is being done with respect to the misuse of the services or the resources which are already there in the public web servers, where the public is being using it in order to use the different services. So basically, through that, getting the HTTP request, then sending the HTTP request, then taking the different HTTP port numbers, then what? Okay, so these are the different how this flows. This the different PCs which they're using it, and through this IPC server and the public server, the attackers are gaining access to this. So basically, this is how the network attacks works with respect to networks. So basically, what will be the difference between what? So network attacks and the other attacks. So basically, the endpoint attacks, that is gaining unauthorized access to the user devices, that is servers or the other endpoints, typically compromising them by infecting them with the malware. So basically, these malware attacks infecting IT resources with the malware, allowing attackers to compromise systems, that is stealing the data and do damage. So these include ransomware attacks. So basically, these are the differences where the different points are, that is endpoint attacks which can happen, then malware attacks which are getting infecting like IT resources which are already there, which are dealing with the malware, allowing attackers to compromise the systems. So basically, these are different points. Now with respect to that, we have another point as well, that is vulnerabilities. So basically, vulnerabilities, exploits and attacks, exploiting the vulnerabilities in the software which is used in the organization. Now, where it is used to gain the unauthorized access, compromising it, or the sabotage the systems. So basically advanced persistent threats is also a point, where these are complex multi-layered threats which include network attacks and also the other types of attack types. So basically these are the different points which we need to consider with respect to the network attacks, which is being compared with the other types of attacks which are already there. So we are having different types of network attacks. So these are the different types, as you can see, like many of the things, like where bomb we are having it, then weaponization in that area it can be used it, then exploitation, it's a very big word where we are using it. These type of attacks are useful in this exploitation. Then commands and control, where the command line arguments are being changed and the commands we can put and we can get into it. Okay, insulation and many of the things. So these are the different areas where the network attacks can get into it and the types can be defined. So with respect to these areas, we have different types of network attacks. Now how it flows. So basically this is the thing how it flows. So basically the users resources of many of the systems combined into an attack network. How it goes. Like attacker we are having it. Okay, where it will attack the masters and the network messages it will create it. Now that it will flow to the zombies. Okay, the zombies are the different softwares, or the we can say source of code which replicates itself. So zombies, through that the different modules will be shared to different devices, and from there the target. So basically from zombies, the target code will go to the target, and the target will have the attack code, and it will be exploiting its own identified vulnerabilities. So this is how the network attack flow, or the network attack is being handled or being done. Now, with respect to that, we are having different types. First type is unauthorized access. We are already knowing it. So unauthorized access refers to the attackers accessing a network without receiving the permission. So among the causes of unauthorized access, attacks are weak passwords, lacking protection against social engineering, then previously compromised accounts, and insider threats. So basically these are different types of unauthorized access which are already being done. Distributed denial of service attacks. So basically attackers build botnets, large fleets of compromised devices, and also use them to direct false traffic at your network or servers. So basically these are the two types of attacks that we are already having in network. Then man in the middle attack. So man in the middle attack basically involves attackers intercepting traffic, basically coming in the middle, either between your network and the external sites or within your network. Okay, after that we are having code and SQL injection attacks. Many websites accept user inputs and fail to validate and sanitize those inputs. So attackers can then fill out a form and make an API call passing malicious code instead of the expected data value that it needs, and the code is executed on the server and allows attackers to compromise it. So this is what the different code and SQL injection attacks are, which is there in the form of malicious code, which is injected, the code is being taken and it is executed on the server, and the attackers will compromise it. So these are the different forms of attacks, or we can say types of attack. Then privilege escalation, that is once attackers penetrate your network, they can use escalation to expand their reach. So and after that we are having the insider threat. So basically a network is especially vulnerable to malicious insiders who already have privileged access to your organization system. So these are the different types of attacks. We are having here 6 types of attacks. Now what the preventive measures that we can take in order to stop this, or we can we can reduce it. So the first point that we need to have is segregate your network. So how a basic part of network security is dividing a network into zones. Now based on the security requirements, this can be done. How it can be done? Using subnets within the same network, means making n network, dividing into subnets, different networks, or by creating virtual local area networks, each of which behaves like a complete separate network. Like it will look very different, a complete set. So in network itself we are having different networks, so that it is difficult to go inside it and to compromise it. So segmentation limits the potential impact of an attack to one zone. So basically, because if it is concentrating on a one zone, it will be very difficult to go inside to take it, and requires attackers to take special measures to penetrate and gain access to their networks. Second that we have is regulate access to the internet, that is by proxy server. That is, do not allow network users to access the internet unchecked. That is, pass all the requests through a transparent proxy and use it to control and monitor the user behavior. Now that will ensure that the outbound connections which are that is already there, that is actually performed by human and not by a bot or other automated mechanism. So this will ensure it, and this is a good sign of it. Now whitelist domains that ensure the corporate users can only have the access to the websites you have explicitly approved. So basically the other will not have the usage or the access to the users. So we have to take a watch on the accesses which are taking place. Place security devices concurrently currently. That is, place a firewall at every junction of the network zones, not just at the network edge. If you can't deploy full-fledged firewalls everywhere, use the built-in firewall functionality of your switches and routers. Now, with respect to that, deploy anti-DDoS, that is devices or cloud services at the network edge. Now, carefully considering where to place the strategic devices like load balancers, if they are outside the demilitarized zone, you can say DMZ, or they won't be protected by your network security apparatus. So the other preventive measure that we can take is network traffic monitoring. So basically ensure you have completed the visibility of the incoming, outgoing and internal network traffic with the ability to automatically detect threats and understand their context and impact. Now, the combining of the data from the different security tools to get a clear picture of what is happening on the network, or recognizing that the many attacks can spam multiple IT systems, also user accounts and threat vectors. So basically, these are the different preventive measures that we can take in order to ensure that our security is maintained and the network attack can be stopped or can be reduced. So basically, when we are following all these measures, other measure we have is using the network address translation. That is, network address translation lets you to translate internal IP addresses into addresses that is accessible on the public networks. Also, you can use it to connect multiple computers to connect the internet using a single IP address. This provides an extra layer of security because we are extracting it to a single IP address, and because any inbound or outgoing traffic has to go through a net device, there are very few or IP addresses which can make it difficult for attackers to understand which host they are connecting to. So this is what the preventive measures that we have, and we have how to take in. So basically we are going to learn, or we need to know what are the network attacks are, different types of network attacks are, and how we can prevent it. So basically we have done in these things in our this lecture. The other things we will be going to continue in the next lecture. Thank you.